Hi guys, this is Gabby here. If you're new, hello and welcome to my channel. And if you're returning, thank you so much and welcome back. So guys, I briefly mentioned visa availability and priority dates in my last video and promised to talk more about it later. And that's what this video is about. Now, I will say that if you are an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, great news for you, because visa availability and priority dates really don't matter as much to you because visas are in an unlimited supply and always available to you. However, if you are not an immediate relative, you do have to pay more than the usual attention because immigrant visas for you guys, unfortunately, are extremely limited and are not always immediately available. So guys, if I'm going to be completely honest, this video was extremely hard for me to do because as I researched the information, it was downright discouraging and depressing. Listen, for those of you that are in this category, I know this waiting process is extremely brutal for you, and I know hearing this really doesn't give you any solace, but I truly hope that the immigration system can be completely overhauled and made better so that you guys can quickly be reunited with your loved ones. Okay, so now with that being said, my purpose of this video is just to give you an overall understanding of what you're up against. Okay, I don't claim to be an expert. I definitely am not an immigration attorney, nor do I try to portray one. I just want to share my experiences and information that I found along the way in hopes that you can gain answers or at least gain a better understanding. Because if you have a better understanding of the immigration process, that puts you in a better position to successfully work through it. Okay, so that's my hope for this video, you guys. So there are multiple immigrant visa categories, and each visa category has its specific amount or limit of available visas. It's the Immigration and Nationality Act that was created by Congress that sets the guidelines that determines the number of immigrant visas that the Department of State can grant each year to those requesting a green card. But not only are there limits on the visa categories themselves, there's also limits on how many visas can be issued per country as well. So yeah, there's typically a 7% limit cap set annually for each country. Now take for instance the visa category for family-sponsored preference visas. It has a limit of 226 visas per year. But those 226 visas are divided amongst the 5 subcategories underneath the family sponsor visa. Like, for example, the family first preference or F1 subcategory, which is for unmarried children of U.S. citizens who are 21 years of age or older and their minor children. It gets a maximum of 23,400 visas annually. Now, legally, there are exceptions to these annual visa limits, meaning they may be exceeded when the previous year's allocations are not fully used, but overall, the limits are enforced. So if you can read between the lines, this tells you that the visa availability is extremely limited, and people who fall in these categories unfortunately have to wait years and years for visas to become available. And if you're in a high demand country like China, India, Mexico, and the Philippines, your wait can take decades. I'm sure for those of you who are currently going through this process, this isn't new information to you. However, this is why your priority date is so important. The priority date is used to determine an immigrant's place in the visa queue or an immigrant's place in the visa line. When the priority date becomes current, immigrants may be able to apply for an immigrant visa. The priority date is the date that USCIS receives your I-130 application, and it can be found on your Form I-797 Notice of Action. USCIS provides what is called a visa bulletin, which allows you to check your place in line or queue for an immigrant visa. The visa bulletin is provided monthly, and it shows the most recent date for when a visa is available for the different visa categories. A visa must be available before you can take one of the final steps in the process of getting your green card. If the demand for immigrant visas are higher than what is available, the Department of State considers that preference category or in that country oversubscribed and must impose a cutoff date to keep the allocations of the visas within the annual limits. So on the visa bulletin, you will see a date listed. And any date prior to the date listed will have visas available for issuances. Also, if you see the letter C listed, it means that it is current, which means that visas are available to all who fall within that category. This typically occurs when the demand is low for immigrant visas. However, if the visa bulletin shows the letter U in a category, this means immigrant visas are temporarily unavailable to all applicants in that category. So let's quickly see how we should read the visa bulletin. For example, if you looked at the visa bulletin and it shows a date of 01 December 14 for India in the family preference category F1, this means visas are currently available for issuance for immigrants who have a priority date earlier than December 1st, 2014. But hold on a second. Remember, we discussed being in line or being in queue for an immigrant visa. So although the visas are available for issuances, you must keep in mind that it's highly likely there are several people, many people ahead of you in the queue. So most likely you will still have a waiting period. Guys, you should not only be relying on the monthly visa bulletin, because unfortunately it will not give you a true idea of your visa wait time. You will also need to be taking a look at the Department of State's backlog report to determine how many people are still ahead of you and who are waiting for their visa approval in your particular category. You'll also need to be confirming your country's visa limits and how many visas are available per your country. Then you'll also need to look at the USCIS report on how many visas were issued in your category per the adjustment of status. These mathematical calculations will help to give you a better understanding of what you're up against. Guys, there's so many moving parts to this. This is why it is a long wait, why it may feel like a battle of confusion and downright impossible just to get a straight answer. The immigration system is truly complex, for lack of a better word. My suggestion to you is to contact NVC with any questions. They will be your best source of information, particularly if USCIS has already approved your petition and forwarded to NVC. So then you need to contact them with any questions and concerns. Guys, I know this video may have been a downer for most of you, but hopefully it's giving you somewhat of a better understanding of the process, and so you'll know what you're up against. I just wanted to share the information that I have. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Okay, we're all here to help one another. So if you have information that you feel will be helpful, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments below. I appreciate that too. You know, we all work better as a team. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.